Hi, my name is Drew. I tutor a number of topics in mathematics here, but today we have this question posed by a user that says at 9 a.m. there are 6 visitors at a museum exhibit. The number of visitors triples every hour until noon. How many visitors, oops, forgot an S, are at the exhibit at noon? And we want to write our answer in exponential notation. In other words, our answer is going to have an exponent in there somewhere. Now, this has actually already been answered by one of the tutors here in a very concise answer, but I just wanted to come on here to add a little bit of background, a little bit of groundwork to see how we got this answer. So we have a lot of information here that we can kind of sort through, if you will. So what we know here is that it's 9 a.m., right? 9 a.m. And we have 6 visitors in the museum here, right? Now this says that the number of visitors triples every hour. In other words, however many number of people that we have there, it is going to be multiplied by 3. Now I'm going to do this in kind of a long way, and this is, and perhaps, once you are working on math problems for a very long time, you could look at this very quickly and find an answer and write it down without thinking very much. But that's after you've been doing it for a while. And so, and you have to say that even in like really, really, really complicated problems, sometimes you have to write things out and just to get a better sense of what's going on. So that's what we're going to do here. So we have 9 a.m., we have 6 people, and we're concerned what happens every single hour, right? So we have 9 a.m. here, something at 10 a.m., we have 11 a.m. here, and then 12 p.m. And that's where we're concerned at 12 p.m. That's where it ends here. So 1 hour passes after 9 a.m. It's now 10 a.m. And this says here that the number of visitors triples. So we're going to take what we have at 9 a.m. and multiply it by 3. So it's 6 times 3. And you notice I'm going to leave this in this form, 6 times 3. And you'll see why in a minute, because it's going to make our life a little bit easier. But this is 18, obviously. So once again, we wait another hour, this goes by, and we're going to take this number here and again multiply it by 3. So we end up getting 6 times 3, and we're going to multiply that by 3. So we have this whole amount now. I'm not going to do the math on that. It's some number that I don't feel like computing. But then we wait 1 more hour, and it's 12 p.m., it's noon. So we take this number here, which is 6 times 3 times 3, and we multiply that times 3. So now we have this string of numbers being multiplied together, right? Now, not to get too, abstract here, but because of a property of numbers called associativity, that means that the order in which we multiply a string of numbers that are being multiplied together, doesn't matter. So for instance, I could multiply this 6 times 3 first before I multiply anything else, or I could multiply this string of 3s before I multiply it by 6, and that's what we're actually going to do. So this is the same thing as saying here, this is what we're concerned with, 6 times 3 times 3 times 3. And we want to write this in exponential notation. Now there are a couple ways that you can do this because it's not very explicit in terms of what it's asking. So you could write it just in the form that you see here, which would be 6 times 3, and there's three threes here, so we could be to the third, right? And I think that this is the answer that was given. Now, it doesn't specifically say it in terms of how many people were there at 9 a.m. So there is one more answer that you can think of, right? Because 6 itself is a multiple of 3. In other words, 6 is 2 times 3. So if we separated this the same way, 3 times 3 times 3, we could also write this as 2 times 3 to the 4th. The first answer here, I think, better they're the same answer, but I think it does better kind of signify really what's happening because you're starting with 6 people and then tripling it 3 times. But this is also a correct answer, technically speaking, within the confines of the question. But yeah, so that's this answer here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and good luck with your math.